How does a man understand the hormonal shifts of a woman and apply them to his life effectively?
It should not be such a problem because his own hormonal shifts are equal. Because everything that you feel is about alignment. Now, it's interesting, you might say, well, the way I get water into this glass is that I go to this faucet and I turn this knob and water comes into my glass. And we say, well, that certainly is an accurate but very scanty part of the story. There is much, much, much more to where that water came from. And so in terms of anything that's happening with your physical apparatus, while doctors and scientists may say, well, this is about this and this is about this and this is something that women have and men don't and this is something that men have that women don't, but what really is behind all of it is a relationship between their own inner being. In other words, the gooey feeling that we were hoping that you would recognize us to be. And so you are so much more the same than you are different in all of those emotional regards, that we think it's interesting that as you have moved through time, through centuries, and you have re-identified your roles as male or your roles as female or your roles with one another, that there becomes a further and further and further distortion of who you really are. And so we think that most people are looking at something outside of themselves, meaning other humans, and trying to identify it as some reason at this point in time why they are not feeling as good as they want to. But all of that is distortion, all of that is misunderstood, and all of that is unnecessary. Your hormonal balance, your digestive balance, the way your blood and oxygen flow, the cellular unfolding, everything about your physical apparatus is in detail with great strategy and understanding and precision, guided from this non-physical flow. When we talk about this flow of consciousness, we're talking even about cellular consciousness. We're talking about hormonal consciousness. We're talking about all of the consciousness of your body. So to say that one sex or the other is more often likely to, for whatever reason, pinch off that flow is not an accurate statement. You pinch off equally for different reasons. So if ever someone is not having a good time, it's never about any of the reasons that they're explaining to you, ever. It's only about one significant reason. They're not in the receptive mode. And let's make it really clear. They are not choosing to be in the receptive mode. They're not choosing to be in the receptive mode. Don't you like knowing that? They're not choosing to be in the receptive mode. We think it is worth thinking about whenever you find yourself not there, if you have the ability to choose it right here and now. And the answer is usually not. Usually not right here. Usually not right here, right now. But as you stop and say, I am going to be better prepared to choose the receptive mode under these conditions next time, then you may do a better job of prepaving as you are moving forward into something like that. Because, oh, your excuses are really so lame. They are so lame. They are not accurate. And every time you use a lame, meaning flawed, meaning inaccurate, meaning incorrect excuse for why you don't feel good, every single time you use that excuse, you disempower yourself just a little bit more. And so what you might want to say is, I'm in a bad mood now, but I'll feel better later. At least give yourself some hope.